Betts, Program Manager at the Westport Center for Senior Activities. I'm a registered dietitian, and I am glad you joined me today to talk about oats. This is actually National Oatmeal Month, so we've had some handouts and flyers in our constant contacts this month, and I'm going to talk about oats and actually tomorrow is National Granola Bar Day. So we're going to make our own granola bars that are healthier than the ones you buy in the store, and they're very easy. So I always think it's kind of interesting. I'm actually going to be doing a new lecture series starting in March called A History of Food and Recipes, and just talk about the history of food, pick a recipe and talk about the history of that recipe, and maybe some nutrition information as well. So today we're going to talk about oats. Oats are believed to be native to Asia. This was interesting. Several archaeology finds have provided firm evidence that all varieties of oats derive from the wild red oat. And the first time it was referenced from the beginning of the Christian era. Oats were used for medicinal purposes, even way back, probably, during the Greek and Roman times. So oats have been around for a very long time. In the 19th century, they were a dietary staple in Scotland, Scandinavia, Germany, and Great Britain. So they like to grow in a cool, moist climate, and they adapt easily to a range of climatic conditions. It can be grown easily in poor soils where it would be impossible to grow other cereals. So I looked up, Russia actually produces the most oats of anyone in the world. And then Canada, Poland, Finland, Australia, and then the US. So, and then after that, it's Spain, UK, Sweden, and Germany. So all of those are cold climates. Oats are not grown in the Southern Hemisphere. They're grown in the Northern Hemisphere. They grow from 2 to 5 feet in height. And they actually look like a wheat stalk. And there's 75 seeds in each of those stalks, and each of those seeds is what is the grain that we eat. Unlike wheat, oats retain their bran and their germ during processing because they're not refined. So when we eat like white flour, it's not as healthy for us because they take the bran, the fiber, the outside of the grain, and they process it, take it out. That's why that's what makes white flour white. And the germ, which is the little bit of oil that's in the base of the seed. And there's a lot of nutrition in that oil. So in wheat, we process that out and actually sell it as wheat germ. But the germ is actually in the oats. And that's what makes oats so healthy for us, that the bran, that fibrous coating, and also the germ is still in there. And the germ contains, which is that little bit of oil that's in every seed, carbohydrates. It contains fat, protein. It's good fat, healthy fat, protein, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and phytonutrients. So lots of good things in oats. You might want to know what the difference is. When you go to the store, there's all kinds of different oats. So there's steel cut oats. And I think, Virginia, you said you had steel cut oats in the closet.
Oh, that's what I cook.
That's what you cook, right? So steel cut are made from whole roasted oats that are passed between steel blades. They cut them into slices. They are more finely chopped, so they cook faster, more surface area. It's easier for the water to get in, and they cook faster. Old-fashioned oats, sometimes the rolled oats. So that's where they take the grain and they put them through two big rollers, and they get crushed and flattened, and they take about 10 to 25 minutes to cook. And then there's quick cooking oats. And what they do for quick cooking oats is they, instead of going once through the rollers to flatten them, they go twice. So they get very, very thin. So it's thinner. And they can be cooked in 3 to 5 minutes. Again, the thinner it is, the faster it is for the hot water to get into it and to cook them and make them soft, which is why we like to eat them that way. Instant oats, instant oatmeal has already been cooked, and then they dehydrate it. So it's sort of the same process as when you buy rice. You can buy par cooked rice or instant minute rice. that rice has already been cooked and it just needs to be rehydrated. So that's what instant oats are. They've actually been pre-cooked and then dehydrated. So oatmeal is a good source of magnesium and thiamine. It contains phosphorus, potassium, iron, pantothenic acid, copper, and is a source of dietary fiber. It's an excellent source of, let's see what else. And they also have a natural antioxidant that makes them extremely resistant to rancidity, which means that they don't go bad. So like flour, if you leave flour out in the cabinet for too long, and actually flour does go bad, especially whole wheat flour because it has that germ in it. But oats do not, because that's just the way they're structured. And then what I was going to tell you is, and then we'll talk about this recipe. So oats, there's much evidence that eating oatmeal reduces your cholesterol. So it's a very, very healthy thing. They've got, they contain protein. This particular recipe, I'm going to go over that in a minute and what all the healthy things are. But so Jason, you can show the picture of the ingredients. I took a picture of the ingredients today, and Jason's going to do a share screen and show that to you. So this is it. That's all that's in these granola bars. So we've got honey, we have rolled oats, we have no salt, peanut butter. Peanut butter has a little bit of sugar in it. I decided, I kind of had a choice of regular peanut butter, no salt peanut butter, and natural peanut butter. Natural peanut butter is a little harder to work with. So it's not homogenized, the oil ends up on the top. So I picked the no salt peanut butter from Stop and Shop. I'm using currants. The recipe calls for raisins, but I had currants in the cabinet. So instead of buying there, it's just a different kind of raisin, but it's basically the same. And then these are dark chocolate chips. And the darker the chocolate, the healthier they are for you. So so this is a really low, there's no fat in this recipe. There's no egg in this recipe. There's no cholesterol. It's naturally sweetened with the honey. You could, if you don't have honey in the house, I think you could use maple syrup just as easily. That would work as well. So, so let's just talk about the recipe and the ingredients.
Do you want to show the nutrition part, Holly?
No, that's okay. Thank you. So the first ingredient is peanut butter, and peanut butter is a good source of protein. It's got healthy fat in it for us. It's high in B3, vitamin B3, which regulates your metabolism of carbohydrates. It helps your brain function and helps maintain your nervous system. So that's peanut butter. Bananas, which are high in B6, which regulates metabolism of amino acids. It's also good for the production of red blood cells. So that helps you with breathing and getting oxygen to your cells. And it also helps with the nervous system. This recipe is high in oat. It has oat bran, so folate, which is combined with B12. It helps the nervous system, your RNA and DNA. Peanut butter is high in vitamin E, which is an antioxidant, helps in healing of the skin, prevents scarring. Again, red blood cells being healthy. And what else is in here? Magnesium. Rolled oats are high in magnesium, which helps your muscle and nerve function and regulates your calcium levels in the body. And then banana, of course, is high in potassium. So, and that regulates the fluid levels in your bloodstream, and therefore your blood pressure, your heartbeat, and your nerves. So all kinds of good things in this recipe. This recipe is really easy. So we're going to go through it. The first ingredient is a half a cup of natural or regular peanut butter. So I just chose a no salt peanut butter. As I said, there is a little bit of sugar in this peanut butter. So we're going to put that, combining the peanut butter and the banana. So they want you to have an old banana, so it's kind of overripe and very soft, like you would use making banana bread. So I'm going to just peel this guy. And there. Let's see, fork.
So if you guys are on gallery view, you can see the little, her
Right.
phone has a better image of what's in the bowl. If you want
Right.
to look like that, okay.
Well, I'm gonna just smash this guy up. Actually, this banana could be a little more ripe. But it'll puree very easily. So I just use a fork. If you had a stick blender, you could use a stick blender, but as long as it's soft. And we want to get it kind of smooth, so it's not too chunky.
That banana pudding?
Yeah. Okay, so that banana goes in. Okay, and then it's honey. One little trick that I do is if you have something sticky that you're measuring, I spray the measuring cup with oil or just take a piece of parchment paper and just grease your cup, and then it'll come out a lot better.
Good idea.
Yeah. So if you're using like molasses in a recipe, any kind of syrup, if you grease the cup first, it all comes out. So
Good idea.
can you guys see that? It pretty much all came out. Tricks of the trade. All right, so that's that. And then they want me to add water. So this is 2 tablespoons of water. And now we're going to mix this up. So peanut butter has a lot of oil in it, so oil and water don't mix. So it'll take a little bit of effort for me to mix this up, but eventually if I stir hard enough, the peanut butter will start getting smooth and it'll mix in.
Can you use chunky peanut butter
Oh, sure, absolutely. Yep.
with the nuts? Okay.
Yeah, definitely. So, see, it's kind of coming together. Can you guys see that?
Right.
So,
It looks like the butternut squash.
yeah, right.
By the way, I made that butternut squash recipe.
Did you?
I did gnocchis instead.
Oh, okay.
And it turned out fine. I put it in the freezer for my grandson and my grandnephew.
Okay, so now all we do is do 2 cups of oats. And again, these are Bob's Red Mill Old Fashioned Rolled Oats.
Right.
I also have these if I back up if I needed them. So we're going to put 2 cups of oats in here. As I said, there's no egg in here. There's no fat except for from the peanut butter. Peanut butter has really healthy fat, and there's not that much. There's a half a cup of peanut butter in here. So now we're just kind of mixing it
I
up.
keep telling myself.
Peanut butter, almond butter, that's all very good for you. It's got a lot of protein in it.
But not to excess.
To be eaten to excess, that's true. But
Hey, Virginia, I have to tell you, your hair looks beautiful.
You're kidding.
It looks beautiful.
okay, so
Thank you.
now I'm gonna add, this is 1/3 of a cup of the currants. But you can add whatever dry fruit you have. If you had chopped apricots, it would have to be chopped up fine, but you could add dates to this. Dates would be delicious in this, I think. So that's that. And then we're gonna have 1/3 of a cup of, this is the dark chocolate bits. So those guys go in. Let me just mix it up.
How many does this make, Holly?
It'll make 16 bars.
Okay.
Yep. Right, is that what it says? I think it's like, yeah, sort of 16. So you cut it 8 by 8. So that's it, guys. That's it. That's all
Wow.
you have to do. Easy. And
It
then
is easy.
what they want you to do is take a piece of parchment paper. If you wanted to, you could do foil and put it on the bottom, because when you're done with it in the oven, you're gonna want to flip it over and then just peel this back, and then it'll come out of the pan really easily. This is an 8 by 8 stainless steel pan. So that's what the recipe calls for. They come out. This is actually the finished product. So you guys can see them. I have to figure out what I'm doing. But anyway, we'll put these in here. use almond butter, that would work just as well. You know, this is actually, as baking goes, this is not science. There's no leavening going on. We're not trying to have any chemical reactions that we need to be precise about. So you could substitute almond butter very easily. That. Let's see what I'm doing.
Holly, I gave away all my baking tins. What could I substitute for that?
Oh, if you get like foil takeout pans,
Okay.
yeah, that would work. I mean,
Oh, okay. Okay. That I have.
sometimes you go to like Stu's or you go to somebody and you get a foil, they give you a foil pans. Yeah,
Okay.
that would work. And that's it. You just want to press it down real hard. And then I'm not going to do it, but these guys bake in the oven at 325 for 25 minutes. And then you put them in the freezer for 15 minutes, which I couldn't do because I have a 30-year-old refrigerator freezer, and we didn't want to put a hot pan in our freezer because we kind of baby it. But it was a cold day, so I put it out on our porch, and they kind of froze. But they want you to freeze them for 15 minutes, and then you cut them up into squares, and then you're done. And store them in an airtight container in the fridge for up to 7 days, or actually you can freeze them as well and just like take them out individually when you want them. But you know, it's a great snack. It's healthy. The granola bars we get in the store, they're like really high in sugar. They're high in salt. They're really like candy bars. So this is a nice option, very easy. That's kind of it. You guys have questions? Anybody?
Looks easy.
Yeah, they are easy.
I had that question about substituting something for the banana. I said applesauce.
Yeah, I think you could try that.
What would you use, a half a cup of apple?
See, there's nothing in here to hold them together. So I think the peanut butter and the banana kind of do that, but you could try it. It won't hurt. Wouldn't hurt to try it.
Would you say a half a cup or a quarter of a cup?
I would think a half a cup.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think banana is typically a pureed banana is about a half a cup. You can do that. And again, if you don't have honey, I think you can use maple syrup. That would work just as well. It might even taste better if you do maple syrup. Give it a different flavor. But I gave Denise one to try earlier, and she said it's really nice because you taste the peanut butter, but you can taste the banana, you can taste the chocolate. You know, one doesn't overpower the other. So, guys have any other questions? It's kind of easy.
Will you leave me one tomorrow?
Did you
What?
say?
325 for 25 minutes. And then you freeze them for 15 minutes and then cut them into squares.
And we have that recipe, right? That you sent us.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have got one other question, Holly. Do you know how many calories one of those is?
Yes, I do. 135 calories,
That's not bad.
135?
6 grams of fat, 2 grams of saturated fat, no cholesterol, no sodium, carbohydrates 20 grams, 2 grams of fiber, 10 grams of sugar that comes from the honey. Protein is 3 grams, potassium is 148 milligrams, and phosphorus is 83 milligrams.
It's good, 125.
And let me look up phosphorus. Phosphorus is my little guide. Phosphorus helps in teeth and bone building and maintenance, and also enables healthy muscle and nerve function. Oh yeah, I remember that from school a long time ago. But yes, that's what phosphorus does. So
And it's low carb.
it is. Carbs
Honey, you said,
are 20 grams.
right. So that's okay.
That's all right. Yeah. Mhm. I mean, it's you know, for a snack, it's actually very good.
Thank you very much, Holly.
My next
Thank you.
class is February 9th. February 9th, we're doing a heart healthy day. And in the morning, Patty Condon's going to do a free exercise class. I think that's at 11, Jason.
Julene has signed up for it. Hold up. I was gonna, hold up. I can